For all the ink the aviation press has spilled on the Piper J-3 Cub, there's sure not much to them. Tube and fabric construction, a cork for a gas gauge, and an instrument panel that makes a tractor look sophisticated. But the attraction for Cubs endures, and here's a look at some modern versions. Now that you've seen the original J3, let's take a look at the Legend Cub LSA. The Legend Cub adheres most closely to the original J3 idea, but Legend has made some important changes. One of the most noticeable is that it has doors that open on both sides of the cockpit, and that's very good for seaplane operations. They've also made some changes in the frame and tubing itself. The cabin is 3 inches wider, and the overhead has been strengthened with some additional members. In addition, the tubing itself is TIG welded rather than gas welded, as Piper used to do. And also, the Legend Cub has better brakes than the old Piper did with its expansion tubes. This has Grove puck-type brakes. But the biggest change probably is in the panel, and we'll fly with Darren Hart and take a close look at that.
We're in the cockpit of the Legend Cub on a bright sunny day, and I have Darren Hart in the background, in the back seat. Darren, this airplane feels most like the original J3, and I guess to an extent Super Cub for a reason. And what are some of those reasons?
Well, that's exactly the way we wanted it. We wanted to keep the flying qualities of a Cub, so we kept the same airfoil, and just basically distill the improvements that we come up with in our design, and still keep the qualities and how things flies.
Let's talk a little bit about the avionics in this particular airplane. This is a middle-of-the-road package, maybe?
Yeah, this is for the traditional, we call it the steam gauges. And a lot of people tend to like that. And with the modern avionics and the GPSs nowadays, we tend to stay with all the Garmin equipment. A lot of people use the 496 and 696 GPS, and then the SO40 comm radio, and then the transponder. And then the sky's the limit. I mean, this is today's technology, and we have aircraft flying around with full autopilots, altitude hold, ready to climb, and then Garmin G3X with synthetic vision. So you can get the high end with all the glass panel stuff, or you can stay the simple way with the basic steam gauges.
Although it's built like a Cub, the Legend flies better than the original. Ground handling is more precise, visibility over the nose is better, and the brakes actually work. With the 100 horsepower Continental 0200, it's also faster than the old 65 horsepower Cub, and with large Tundra tires as an option, even a ham-fisted pilot can land it without drama. Overall, the Legend retains what's good about Cubs and improves what isn't. Now let's take a look at what CubCrafters has to offer. CubCrafters is well known for its high-quality rebuilds of Super Cubs. They've been in the business for a number of years. They do a lot of business out of Alaska, bushplane type repairs and restoration. This particular Cub is the S2 Sport Cub, which is their version of an LSA Cub. Now this is significantly different than the original Cub. The cabin is wider. The structure itself has been beefed up quite a bit. It has fewer parts, and major changes have been made in the tail. For a power plant, it has the Continental 0200A, 100 horsepower. It also has a flap system like the Super Cub, so that makes it very good for short and soft field operations and bush operations. This particular model has a 26-inch set of Tundra tires on it, so it can get on and off gravel bars or rough fields. We're going to take a flight with Clay Hammond and see how this one does. We're in the S2 Sport Cub with Clay Hammond in the back. Clay, let's talk a little bit about the high alpha capability of this airplane. Does very well at slow flight. We've just done some demos at 30 indicated or a little below. Tell us a little bit about, we've got full flaps here. We've got the capability of full flaps, so you can really slow this airplane down. And what kind of slow approaches can you fly?
Yeah, the Sport Cub and the Carbon Cub both come with flaps as standard equipment. You've got a full flap capability of 30 degrees, and between the flaps and the traditional Cub airfoil that the airplane employs, you can come down final, in the airplane at, depending on if you're single pilot or have a passenger, anywhere from 40 to 50 miles an hour, and still be very stable and very comfortable.
Now this one also has the 26-inch Tundra tires, which will soak up the bumps even of my landings. How do those play in landings in general?
Well, there's certainly, definitely there's additional cushion in using those bigger Tundra tires. They soften the landing. They're not quite as chirpy, as a traditional 800 or 800 by 6 or 850 by 6, and they're not running quite as hard rubber. So you've got a lot more cushion on the landing. It just makes things a little smoother.
Now let's talk a little bit about the level of avionics. We'll turn around here and look at the panel. We're looking at a mid-range avionics package in here, what you call the deluxe VFR package.
That's right. It's traditional round, style flight instruments and engine instrumentation, and then you've got a Garmin portable GPS over top of a SO40 comm and a Garmin transponder. You can read a full report on both LSA Cubs in the March 2011 issue of Aviation Consumer at aviationconsumer.com. I'm Paul Bertorelli. Thanks for watching.